Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to another episode of that Wolfie Royals podcast. Here we are late in the year, late in 2024 already. And yeah, I'm having fun doing these. It's been really good getting on video and talking to a few more guests sort of face to face rather than, just through audio only. And it seems that you guys are enjoying it as well. So if you are enjoying it, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, etc. Do what you got to do on YouTube for me. I'm really going to try and push the YouTube side of things. So that is going to be where the primary release is. So if you want to catch it before it comes out on Spotify, YouTube is the place to be. Now, with us today, I've got another guy from Europe. So this guy is Andy Saltarin. Really intelligent, really clever guy. He's got a background in sort of science and medical sort of side of things, like medical field. So could be really interesting to get a different viewpoint on things as well. But before we get into that, just going to quickly pull up some of the sponsors of the show. So I'm sure you've seen them all before, but of course, here we go. So first up is JVK Racks and Reptiles. JVK have been a sponsor now for, since the start of this year. They do some of the best racking in the UK available, all stainless steel options, and all different tubs and sizes, etc. So if you are looking for anything, new racking for your reptile room, they're the ones to go and check out. And of course, they're fantastic display cases as well. Which there is a raffle currently running where you can win one of their bespoke JVK display cases. They usually retail at £2,000 and you can get one for just £20 a ticket. So it's an absolute fantastic chance to really boost your display case and really up your show game. And of course, they don't just do the racks, they've got some absolutely killer animals in their collection as well. So definitely head over to Morph Market and check those out as well. And then we have got, of course, Scott Wilkinson Reptiles. Scott's been around for quite a few years now as a sponsor. One of the OGs of the reptile game in the UK. Breeding some really good stuff, but just a really fantastic source of knowledge and information. So if you do get to pick Scott's brains, absolutely do so. And of course, that ties in with SWR Shipping, which is Scott and I's shipping company where we can ship your reptiles worldwide. So Europe, USA, Canada, import and export, etc. So if you do want to connect with buyers overseas, now is the perfect time. Drop us a message and I'm sure we can sort you out. But we'll get into some of the other sponsors a little bit later. What I'm going to do now is bring in our guest and we'll get on with the interview, shall we? So without further ado, here is Dr. Andy Saltarin. Hey Andy, how's it going?
Hello guys, what's up?
So yeah, I gave you a pretty good introduction there, so you've got to live up to my expectations and my standards. So before we get into anything, just give people a bit of background information about you and what you do.
So professionally, I have an education in biology, so I studied it for like 5 years, and then I did a PhD also in the field of biochemistry, biotechnology, these kind of things, and also after I finished that, I worked for a couple of years in the Czech Republic. And that's actually where my ball python journey started as well. So there, it was I think a year or so before the Corona outbreak, and I always wanted some kind of exotic pet or a snake. So I was like, okay, let's get a ball python, yeah, because I saw some videos already before of Justin and Brian Barczyk, and I was like, oh, it's so cool. They can breed them and create some like really cool looking snakes in all kind of colors. So I was already like considering maybe I will get into breeding, but I wasn't sure if I actually like to keep these animals. So I just got one as a pet, and right from the start I liked clown. Yeah, so I got a clown male because I was like, okay, maybe if the females get too big for my taste, then I have like a smaller snake, then that's easier to handle. Yeah, but it didn't take long to really fall in love with it, and I was like, okay, I think a year or so later, then I got more animals, and then I was up to 20 already. I wouldn't do that again in that pace, but I think that's how most of us start. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It always snowballs from sort of one or two, and then all of a sudden, it's taken over. You've got dedicated rooms, or you're making room to put more animals in.
Yeah.
So how does your sort of professional interests tie in with reptiles? Obviously, biochemistry is probably quite important, quite important stuff. And of
Mhm,
course, now that sort of big surround with sort of biosecurity and things like that. So
mhm.
what sort of day job tie into that?
Yeah, so actually I studied biology because I always liked like nature, animals, everything. Yeah. So and as a child, I was really I was living in a village that was good for like that kind of passion. Yeah, where I was
Okay.
hunting all kinds of bugs and frogs or whatever. Yeah, I wanted to collect everything and let's say investigate, and that's also one of the reasons why I studied biology. So that's kind of the background of that, and I kind of rediscovered it, yeah, when I was yeah, a bit on myself here in the Czech Republic. Um, and so that's more or less how that played together. But as you said, yeah, when you were working in a lab for a couple of years, you learn some let's say basic rules, yeah, like working sterile, and that really helped me a lot, because maybe I'm doing it too much, but I'm treating my snake room almost like a lab, yeah, where I use gloves and disinfectant and all these things, and I think that helped me quite a lot already, yeah, when you find out maybe one animal has something because you worked sterile, it didn't spread, yeah. um,
So
and
what are the key ways and what are the best ways to work sterile? How would you describe it for people, and how would you sort of explain it to people if you was teaching someone from like the very beginning and the basics of sort of keeping snakes? How would you get them to work sterile?
yeah, yeah. To actually explain it, I prefer to show it. Yeah, I did that, for example, also with Devin. When I was
Okay.
for a visit at his facility, actually taught him how to do it. But I can try to put it into words. Um, so when you want to do it like me, yeah, you use gloves, and when you touch, let's say, one animal, you have to think as if your gloves are now infected. Yeah, so
Yep.
you cannot touch anything that is in general use for also the other animals. Yeah, not your I don't know, some scratching thing to
Yeah.
remove stuff from the tub, or not even your phone. Yeah, because when you touch the phone, even for taking a picture, um, if you're unlucky and you have the infected stuff on your hand and you use your phone and then to take a picture, and then you use the phone again with another animal and take a picture, um, if you're unlucky, it can
Like cross contamination.
vector, yeah.
Yep.
uh, that way, I mean, because of the vet Devin is using, we already learned like this way of infecting other animals is quite unlikely. But I like to go the safe route, yeah. So to just try to eliminate all factors, yeah. And actually, in the lab, there's also like it's called the two glove rule. So you have always a set of gloves on your hands, and for every animal, I use a different set of animals that are slightly larger. Yes, so you can put the second set of gloves above the other gloves, and then it's
Okay.
easier to put them on and off. Yeah, otherwise, when your hands are getting sweaty and you put on a
Yeah.
different,
Yeah.
then they stick there,
Yeah.
and
Sometimes you can't get them on, or they get stuck, or they rip, or whatever.
yeah. So that's quite a nice rule you wouldn't know without working in the lab. Yeah, and that actually helps. Yeah, so I can have a different set of gloves for every animal, or the more efficient way would maybe have to have like a group of animals that you pair anyways. Yeah, so they get in contact anyways. So that's not really doesn't make that much sense to treat them as like super separated. But yeah, so that's a good thing. Yeah, and then of course have some good disinfectant when you, for example, also when you feed. Yes, have like a couple of these feeding tanks. When you're feeding with tanks, yeah. When you feed live and you just throw the rodents in there.
It doesn't
Then
matter too much. Yeah.
yeah. But we can come to to that part also later. In Germany, you officially you can't feed live, so you have to figure out the ways of feeding frozen thawed. So yeah, best thing is really to have like let's say 3 or more of these feeding tongues, and then when you used one and an animal touches it, or even if you want to go completely safe, even when you didn't see it touch it, then you can afterwards disinfect it with some potent disinfectant. Yeah, so that because that's one of the most risky factors. Yeah, when you're feeding, no matter if it's frozen thawed or live, when you put the rodent in there with one snake and maybe it bites just once, but it didn't wrap it and didn't want to eat it, and then you say, okay, I cannot throw it away now. Let's put it to the next one. Yeah, and that's the best way actually to
transferring that saliva over.
Yeah. I think that's how most collections got infected like completely. Yeah, because most people don't want to throw the rodent away after just one try. Yeah.
And what about when it comes to like cleaning tubs and stuff? Is there a dedicated way that you do that as well, or is it just like a really potent disinfectant?
I wouldn't say like a super super special way. Yeah. So just applying the same rule that when you touch the stuff that you try to touch not something else that is in general use. But yeah, when I think it's more or less like everyone does, or like most people do. Yeah, when there's some, I usually do spot cleaning. When it's too big of a mess, like all over around the tub, then I clean completely and then use some good disinfectant. When you that's maybe something that you have to think about. Also, touching the if you have a spray bottle or something, also don't touch that with your contaminated glove.
Yeah.
Take off the contaminated glove and use the primary glove to then spray. Yeah.
And then re-glove again.
Yeah. And yeah, so I would say, I mean, most people, or like at least the pet people, probably don't do that at all. Yeah, they probably do everything without gloves and disinfectant and stuff. But I think at least the good breeders all use some kind of disinfectant. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. How does it? So obviously, like the big issues at the moment are things like nidovirus and respiratory infections and stuff. They're the things that most people are worried about. So, are the disinfectants that are on the market from like a lab standpoint, are they good enough to kill those viruses, or is it something that you probably need to look outside of like the reptile market for?
Yeah, well, actually, a long time, and I still do that. I like to mix my own disinfectant.
Crazy chemist.
Yeah, but it's actually not so difficult. But I wouldn't recommend it to everyone, especially not to like inexperienced people, because I mix like really potent solution that is mainly hydrogen peroxide, so highly concentrated bleach.
Yeah.
And sometimes I also put some ethanol in there. But just the highly concentrated bleach is so strong. If you get it on your skin and you don't wash it off immediately, your skin will turn white. Yeah,
it'll start to bleach it and burn it.
Yeah, and you will feel some like tingling, burning sensation if you don't wash it off. So definitely don't get that into your eyes.
Yeah, you don't want that. Any bleach in your eyes is not a good look.
Yeah. But especially if it's so highly concentrated. Yeah, if you, for example, put that in your sink, you can hear like the bubbling and stuff. So it's really like, I wouldn't recommend that to the general public. But like the F10 and Safe 4 solutions, if they are on a good concentration, they also kill the viruses. Yeah, I haven't tried it. It's hard to try that by yourself. Yeah, you would have to have like your own like virus test.
Yeah,
actually test. But like I heard that from, I forgot who it was, but it was also some like scientist in the US, I think, and he tried out what actually kills the nido, and F10 was one of them. I think he didn't try Safe 4, but I trust Jean-Francois. He said he tried if it works against coronavirus, and corona is very similar to nido. It's I would say more or less the same virus family.
Okay, that's interesting.
So, and those are actually very, it's kind of crazy. Those are very fragile viruses. Yeah. So you can imagine them like a bubble, and those bubble is like on the surface is more or less just like a fatty
Yeah,
surface. So actually it would work if you just use soap.
and you
Those
could.
those this fatty layer would be destroyed, and then the virus would already be dead. Yeah. So
Okay.
I wouldn't rely on just using soap, but theoretically it would be enough. Yeah. And it's kind of a scandal, yeah, that such a simple virus can cause such havoc in people population, but also in your snake collections. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's fear factor, I guess.
Mm.
So let's talk about your Royal Python journey. So obviously you mentioned there that you sort of moved around a bit. You've been in Czech Republic and originally from Germany, etc. And that's where you are now.
Um, So yeah, let's continue where I stopped with that. So yeah, after I stayed there for like 3 years. So when Corona started, I was there, and also like a year later. And there actually had my first clutch. Yeah, but I had in mind soon I will be leaving again. So I tried to keep everything at a manageable scale.
Yeah.
Um, and then yeah after I found a job in Germany again, I was actually doing the big move. What was quite a journey, yeah, to pack everything. And I don't know, everyone who moved a snake collection ever in his life, probably he knows how much work that is.
Yeah.
um, and luckily mine was still small, yeah, like around 20 animals, but because I didn't have experience with it, so it still took a long time, and I was super scared, like, oh my god, those snakes will be in the box probably more than a day, will they survive it and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be absolutely fine.
It went pretty well, yeah, because they in the end they had to stay in the boxes for like 2 days, and they got a bit cold. So there's some had some like how do you say, some, not scratches, but like you could see that they were like rubbing on the back, yeah, and
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, but all survived, and after they shed again in the new apartment, they were fine, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, they're pretty hardy creatures and they can withstand,
Yeah,
quite a
it's
variance and a tolerance of things.
yeah, it's quite crazy. Yeah, when, for example, when I got some animals also shipped and they were super cold, I was like, oh my god, this cannot be healthy for the snake. They still were fine, yeah, if you treat them nicely
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, just warm them up slowly and let them
Mhm.
get back to temperature. They're absolutely fine. But for shipping purposes, we always say that, a cold animal is better than an animal that is too hot
Mhm.
because,
Yes, yes.
excessive heat, and especially when they're in such a small space, like excessive heat is so terrible for them.
Mhm.
And it will cause a lot more issues than them being slightly colder for 2, 3, 4 days.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
everyone always panics because they're used to having them on hot spots of like 32, 33 degrees in a heated room or whatever. But actually, they can take quite a differing range of conditions.
Yeah, and unless you don't cook them, they will be fine in the most cases. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. You'd rather be too cold than too hot. So, how did you find it, sort of, say, breeding in Czech Republic and then obviously moving the whole collection to Germany? Was there like a delay getting things back breeding, or was it quite quick?
Um, so in my whole history, I had to move my collection like twice, and it looks like it was on a bad timing. Yeah, so because both times most of my females reabsorbed. Yeah, so it actually, the two times moving set me back more or less 2 seasons. Yeah, um, so what I learned, I mean, you cannot always choose it. Yeah, but if you can choose, and then always do it maybe in summer when the females are not building. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I had to do it like twice in like during the winter period when I wanted to pair and the females were building, and like all didn't like it, and reabsorbed, and then my next seasons were all like super bad. Yeah, I had
yeah,
1 or 2 clutches just from, I don't know, let's say 10 females. Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty bad. But in the first season after I came back from Czech Republic, I didn't have that good animals. Yeah, because when I started, I was more like, I wouldn't recommend that either. On like a bargain hunt. Yeah, I didn't have that much money either. Yeah, but I was more on getting as many animals as cheaply as possible. Yeah, and from what I heard, that's also how most people start, but it's definitely not the way how
Oh
it should.
yeah, completely. Like I did exactly the same when I was first starting out. Was I was buying a lot of stuff with no real sort of thought or direction as to what I was doing. It was just get the animals and then think about breeding them and seeing what you could create. Whereas if I was gonna do it now, I'd be a lot more specific with what I was buying and
Mm.
sort of make sure that my money went a lot further in terms of where I was putting that investment rather than just buying 10 animals and thinking that I'll breed them at some point. But now the market's changed a little bit and sort of it's a little bit harder to move animals on or a little bit slower to move animals on. I would
Mm.
definitely be a lot more selective and a bit more of a thought process into what I was actually buying.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I had some kind of thought process at least. Yeah, when I saw, for example, that was the time when Justin had the leopard clown, and so leopard clown was super hyped, and I was
Yeah,
like, oh my god, I cannot afford the leopard clown or even not the leopard head clown, so I will just get a leopard.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Make your nets and do it that way.
yeah. So at least some kind of thought process was there, but not like, okay, I pay 100 euros for that animal, and when I can finally breed it, how much will that be worth? I
Yeah,
didn't have any experience to calculate that. But what was also quite adventurous, and I'm pretty sure most people wouldn't do that. And when I hear people complaining that they don't want to go to a show because it takes them 4 hours to get there, yeah. And I always remember my time when I was in Czech Republic, and it was really like the east of Czech Republic. It wasn't close to the border or anything.
yeah.
So really, when I wanted to go to the show, I had to go through whole Czech Republic, and then also like half of Germany. Yeah, so it took me like 13 hours.
Oof. Wow.
And on top of that, I didn't have a car, and I still don't have one. So I did that journey with public transport.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you.
And
That's not a bit of me.
so I was
I'll be
sleeping.
driving.
Yeah, I was sleeping in the train and shit. So it was really like super adventurous at that time. Um, but I think that also shows like how much I wanted it and stuff. So
How
um,
far were you in Czech Republic from Devon's old place? Was you was it Vestek?
no, it's I don't know if you've heard about it, but the name is Bruno.
Okay.
So it's really like I think it's more or less the most east you can go in Czech Republic. Yeah, so Devon is still like quite close to the German border.
Sure.
Yeah, even Prague is kind of close, but like Czech Republic is actually quite large. I didn't realize that before. Yeah, but it's really like this elongated shape, and let's say Prague is here, and then Brno is really here on the.
Okay, yeah, so you're quite far away.
Yeah, so it already takes a couple of hours to just get to Prague.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I moved to Germany, that part at least got much easier because now I live in a region where there's also the Ham show. Yeah, so that's super easy for me now.
So you're up in North Rhine-Westphalia, is it?
Exactly. Yeah. So Cologne, Düsseldorf region. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's not the prettiest region of Germany, but it's it has a lot to offer. Yeah, because there's like all the big cities and all super close by. So yeah, it
And what's
actually.
it like breeding in Germany at the moment? Because obviously you mentioned earlier you've got like specific strict rules around sort of like
Mhm.
live feeding and things like that. But are there any other sort of complications or regulations in terms of breeding reptiles? Because I see sort of quite a few German breeders have sort of sold up recently because of investigations by the government or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's actually yeah, Germany is actually one of the most strict countries in Europe. I think most Western European countries are pretty strict. The only one that is much stricter is Sweden, yeah, because there you, I don't know, you cannot, even if your animal will die, you cannot feed it live.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, but officially you cannot feed live here. Yeah. Only you have to prove that your animal would starve to death if you wouldn't.
Okay.
That's one thing. Yeah. So that makes it also, if you want to have like completely official and stuff, you have to have like super and rodent breeding is also super regulated. Yeah. So you if you want to breed your own, you would have to have like 2 meter cages, also
Oh, wow.
2 meter in height, because rats like to climb, and yeah.
Yeah.
And in those you can only have 3 rats. Yeah, so you can imagine like how much space you would need if you want to feed like a big collection with your own rodent production. Yeah, it's kind of impossible. So that's complicating things, and of course you cannot have racks. And then it depends on the vet. Yeah, so some vets are fine if you have like a mix of racks and tanks, so that you can cycle the animals. Yeah, let's say half a
Okay.
year in the tub and half a year in the rack. Some vets don't accept racks at all, then you have to have like every animal in a tank all year round. In most cases, at least, you can have the hatchlings in the tubs, but only up to, I think, 6 months age or 500 grams weight. And after that, they have to go into a tank as well.
So how are most people in Germany sort of still breeding? Because obviously that's going to take up a lot of space, going to take up a
Yeah.
lot of, a huge amount of space, really. Everything has to go into tanks and things. So how do most people circumvent that?
Yeah, I think that that's the gray area in Germany. I think that's the reason why most German breeders are actually they're not registered, so they just do it as a hobby. Yeah, even
Yeah.
though sometimes they, even like the high end breeders, they do it as a hobby, and then they collect, I don't know, 100K per year in cash. um,
So you only have to have them out of racks if you're a registered business. If you're a hobbyist, they're okay.
Yeah, so that's at least the most annoying part. Yeah, so if you have at least for half of your animals your tanks that fit also the official rules of them, that can also differ from vet to vet, because there are some kind of official rules, but no laws. Yeah, so every vet
Okay.
can decide. The most ridiculous thing I heard so far was that the vet demanded to have like a super high tank. So because in his mind, the ball pythons are really liking to climb, and so they need super high tank. And on top, like a half or so of the tank needed to be aquatic, because for some reason he thought that it needs to be like that. They can swim around there and stuff. So and the thing is, you cannot do anything, yeah, because they are like the officials, and you cannot argue with them. Yeah, even if you have 30 years of experience and
They won't listen.
Yeah, and you tell them, no, let's talk about it. I know it. Like, I have really experience in that. Let me explain. They're like, no, we have it on this sheet of paper from 1990. It says this and this. So that's what you have to do. Then you have to obey, or otherwise, if you don't, they take away the animals. Yeah. So there's really nothing you can do. So, and that has all kinds of consequences. Yeah, that's why people are very like secretive about their breeding, and always want cash, and just use PayPal pay friends. Yeah, and all these things. Yeah, and so
Yeah, that makes sense. I can understand why people would do it. 'Cause it sounds like it's a lot of complication to actually to breed otherwise.
yeah. And also, if when you want to register, you need to have need to do an exam. Yeah, to it actually at the moment it's changing a bit for the better, at least this one thing. But you have to. It's at the moment you still have to do an exam about like all kinds of animals you can keep as pets. Yeah, like
Okay.
and then if you want, if you do the exam, they can ask you about frogs. They can ask you about all kinds of lizards, turtles, whatever. They will not ask you about the species you actually want to work with. So you have to know like all the Latin names, how you keep them, like everything about every kind of species you can keep in your home. And that's also it's kind of expensive. Yeah, it costs like 600 euros, and you have to have the time and energy to actually study this stuff and then get the exam done. Yeah,
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
then
So
I mean, yeah,
yeah, I mean they're setting people up to fail, aren't they?
yeah. So it looks like they prefer to prevent people from doing it, but what
Yeah.
it creates is this kind of black market.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
A lot more unregulated and a lot easier for people to work in.
Mm.
So let's talk projects. What are your main projects? What are you working on?
So as I said, yeah. So my clown was always like my favorite. So I still work in clown, but times have changed, yeah, and also quite early in when I was in the ball python breeding, I started to start with the double recessive hypoclown.
Yeah.
And so that's still my strongest project, yeah, because it's actually quite hard to find very good animals in that project, yeah, where you have like a lot of incomplete dominance stacked into the project. It's in most cases there's, as always, like pastel or NG, and sometimes if you are lucky you can have a chocolate one, but that's more or less it. Yeah, you cannot really get a super stacked one. So I had to collect like animals from all kinds of places, and now I have like I think good puzzle pieces, and so
Yeah.
next season should be really good. Like the best one I made by myself was the black pastel hypoclown. That was like really nice. It's still quite nice, yeah, but that brought some very nice orange into that, and that's also like the strengths of hypo, yeah, because clown
Yeah.
for me,
Hyper's fantastic.
yeah, I love it. Yeah, so clown for me is like the super cool pattern and this head stamp that I really love. And hypo I use to bring in like more color into clown. Yeah, because when you have just a regular clown and when it ages, it gets kind of brown. And with hypo and some like other color enhancing incomplete dominance in there, that's really a good way to keep it like nice looking when it's an adult. Yeah. So upcoming season, I should have like some nicely, if like all females go that I want and males go, yeah, then I should have some pretty nice stacked ones with like stranger and confusion.
Oh, nice.
Mandarin is not Mandarin. I had just a clutch a couple of months ago. Mandarin I want to have in the project as well. Yeah, but
Yeah, because that'll really enhance those oranges and really make that colour
yeah,
pop from the hypo.
exactly. Like the goal, of course, is the super Mandarin hypo clown. That
Yeah.
should just glow. Yeah. So upcoming season should be pretty interesting. Yeah. So at the moment, I have like all the puzzle pieces, and of course, Devin is also a good source when I need some more.
Yeah, he's got some fantastic stuff. Some
Yeah.
really good stuff.
So yeah. So that's my strongest one. I also started to mix in sunset. So I have some like hypos, double head sunset clown.
Okay.
So that will still take quite a long time to have the triple visual, but at least I have like the foundation now. And also this season I will start with the DG puzzle project. Since a year or so, almost a year, I'm trying to get a good mail from the US, but for some reason shipping is not working.
Yeah, we'll sort it out. Don't worry. We'll
Yeah,
get it.
with you, we will sort it
Already sorted. Already done.
perfect. So guys watching, Tom is the best shipment partner.
Shameless plug, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, so for puzzle, there's also like it's such an untouched project. Yeah, just
Yeah.
even normal puzzle. we are just touching the surface. Yeah, so I want to try like some pattern changing and complete dominance in there, and DG creating more contrast and making it more vibrant. Yeah, so that's why I want to have like the two different directions. Yeah, the hypoclown with like cool pattern, cool color, orange,
Yeah.
and the DG puzzle with like some crazy unseen patterns and a lot of contrast. Yeah, so I think that's two cool directions you can go, and at least that's what I want to do.
What do you make of like the puzzle clown stuff? Because obviously we've seen puzzle clowns now coming to market, and genetic shed test improving some out and things.
Mm.
It's obviously quite disappointing as a double visual. I
Mm.
think it doesn't meet a lot of expectations that people had hoped.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think there's anything you can do to change that, or is it something you just stay away from?
Mm. I wouldn't put a lot of energy into that, yeah, because I mean we haven't seen that many combos, but what I have seen, even like with spot nose, it doesn't really look like something. Yeah. So like a spot nose puzzle clown looks like a spot nose Enchi clown, and that's
Yeah.
not something if you want to get into that, if you would buy that, you would have to pay like 20K for it.
Yeah, I think it was up for $20,000 on Morph Market.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Something like that. And I'm like, no, come on.
Yeah, it's not realistic.
Yeah. But another direction that is quite interesting, and it's even more interesting because it's allelic to clown, is cryptic.
Yeah.
And we have seen like proof already that cryptic and puzzle influence the same genetic pathway. What is I don't know if that ever was the case with any other recessive or other like gene. I don't know any. But that's quite interesting, yeah, because you can have like a double visual, and both have like a similar effect on the animal, but combined they have like an enhanced effect. Yeah, so you can actually see the double visual in that case, yeah, and not clown. What is also interesting
The
because
cryptic, yeah.
clown is allelic to cryptic, so you would expect maybe also no effect, but cryptic actually influences other genetic pathways. So that's something, and Willy from Austrian Reptiles is also doing it, and you have like more extreme puzzles then, yeah, because the
Okay.
more scrambled up.
And is that with the Krypton or with the cryptic?
Cryptic for sure. I haven't seen. I think I haven't seen, and probably was not produced, a Krypton, but that could be worth a try. Yeah, to see if the Krypton also is having an effect. Yeah,
Do
at
you
least.
think it's good for puzzle that it's not reactive with clown? Do you think it gives people another dimension and another pathway to go with another recessive? Because at the moment, almost every recessive out there seems to get put straight to clown because that's the most popular and the most reactive with most genes.
Mm.
Whereas if puzzle is sitting away from that on the other side of it, and puzzle and clown don't really blend, do you think more people will start edging towards puzzle and more will come away from clown?
Yeah, I mean, it has pros and cons. Yeah, if it would be highly reactive with clown, then it would be maybe the most hyped project now. Yeah, if it would look crazy, and like that. So because of that, people will not really pursue that project. But that actually gives puzzle the chance to be its completely other direction and project. Yeah, so some people call it the new clown. I wouldn't go that far for now. Yeah, but definitely if you either don't like clown, or if you're just starting out now and you think, okay, the clown market is already so saturated, let's do something else. Clown puzzle is really like a good project, yeah, to experiment and stuff, and so it.
I think the good thing with puzzle is it will allow those other recessives that people have mixed into clown, like the hypos and the exanthics and the desert ghosts, they all still work really, really well with puzzle.
Yeah,
And I
sure.
think it will give people another dimension and another sort of avenue to explore with.
Mhm.
Let's go and do an exanthic puzzle DG instead of an exanthic DG clown, because
Mhm.
I think that would look fantastic. Like the exanthic DG puzzle will be insane. But
Yeah.
also, you'll see like the ultramel puzzles and things the hypo puzzles, the hypo DG puzzles and things, they all look way different to what it would look like in Clown. So I think it gives a fantastic option for people as well, and it also still keeps those other recessives quite relevant.
Yeah, because you can combine them with puzzle, right? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, if you don't want to work Clown, or you just want to have a different direction, like I do now, yeah, you can use puzzle instead of Clown and just try everything you want. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's like you can really mix it with any recessive except for Clown, and have your new cool project. Yeah, so I think it might be actually better that it doesn't react well with Clown.
Yeah, I think so. I was always of that opinion that because it didn't react well with Clown, it was something else for people to do that kept it away from where the whole market was going at the time. Because like we said before, everything was so heavy and pushed towards Clown that something else that's a breakaway from that, that maybe people weren't really doing much of because they were so focused with Clown, sort of allows other people to establish themselves in the market a little bit more, maybe build up a bit more of a reputation, or they might be the go-to guy for puzzle or hypo puzzle or DG puzzle or whatever, because they've taken that time away from Clown and put it into puzzle instead.
Yeah, exactly. It's a perfect if I would restart now, even though I love Clown, yeah, and I would have to choose just one project, I would probably go for puzzle, because yeah, there's so much more to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting as well, because obviously things like G-Stripe work pretty well with Clown. No one really expected that reaction with Clown, and for it to make some of the patterned animals that it makes. So for puzzle to have such a heavy pattern and for it not to react with Clown at all it's quite interesting to see, really.
Yeah, I think nobody, but that's probably also because of this genetic pathway thing. Yeah, that Clown is somehow it's not completely the same pathway, because then it would be like cryptic, but it must have to do something with it. Yeah, that we still haven't figured that out. Because by the way, that's also something that I can pull from my science background, all this genetic stuff. So if I get too like nerdy and sciencey, just let me know.
Please do. I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah, because if you think, yeah, the cryptic and Clown are allelic, so they must have some kind of related effect on the genetics in overall in the animal. Yeah, but cryptic, you can see it mixed with puzzle, but Clown must be in a slightly different pathway, so that it goes under, and when it's in puzzle, or it's the other way around. Yeah, that puzzle is not showing in Clown, at least not really. Yeah, so I think in the next couple of years, the genetic test guys will figure that out a bit more in detail. But for me, something like that is really like fascinating. Yeah. So, but there must be like this genetic reason why it is like that. Yeah.
So how much sort of do you have to do in your day job of sort of working in the lab? How much does that tie into the snake stuff? Is that something you want to pursue in the future, maybe sort of going down the genetic route of it and the testing and the genetic pathway stuff, or is that sort of just a hobby on the side?
That's actually kind of a plot twist that I have in my CV, because when I wanted to get out of Czech Republic and also out of science, more or less, out of the university, I had actually to take a job that is completely unrelated to it. So since I'm back in Germany, I'm working in finance now, finance IT stuff.
Yeah.
So if I would still have worked in the lab, actually, I was having that in mind, yeah, with the chat testing, that I could actually also develop that in Europe, but I didn't have access to a lab, so I would have to, I don't know, rebuild one of my rooms to a lab to actually do that. Would still work, but it's not that good for the conditions you need for these things.
Sure.
Because in the air and everything needs to be like completely dust free and sterile for these tests to work perfectly. So not for now. Yeah, I was. I definitely had it in my mind, but now that ProHerper is already well established and has like most of the important tests, at the moment I don't think I will go into that. But let's see. Yeah, if you want to do it for like science reasons, you need to have some kind of funding. Yeah, so that's usually kind of hard to get. You always have to explain and to some authority like why this research is important, and then beg for their money. And for like ball python genetics, it's really hard
no
to
one cares.
why they should fund you.
Yeah. So it's all pretty much self-funded for the genetic shed testing.
Yeah.
Which I can't imagine is that cheap to develop tests and then develop the run the primers and the PCRs and things. I should imagine it's quite a costly experience.
Yeah, the test itself shouldn't be that expensive, but the test development, because you have to sequence like a lot of data, and the sequencing it already is much cheaper than like 10 years ago. Yeah, because I think 10 years ago you would have to be like a billionaire to do that. Now it's enough to maybe have like 100K or so to develop something. And then as also the guy from Rare Genetic Inc. Said, like in your last podcast, it also depends how long it will take. Yeah? Because when you think you're close to finding the right mutations that make out this more, and then it's a miss, then you have to sequence more and more, and then of course it gets more expensive then.
Yeah, so you're really hoping that you hit the mutation first time, so it don't end up costing you money after time after time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. It's I'm just quite happy paying the $50 or whatever it is and send it in and let someone else do it.
Yes.
It seems a lot more simple than what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it's interesting, but they have to go in with quite deep pockets, and then it will take many years until they actually make good profits.
Yeah, of course. So what's next for you? Where do you see yourself in sort of 3 years, 5 years time? What's the plan? What's the end goal?
That's such an employee question. No, yeah, I definitely I don't want to grow that much actually, because space is limited here. So if I could have big room full of racks, then it would be a different story. But I'm fine to be like a boutique breeder, to have not too many animals, maybe have around 20 clutches per year. Now I'm around 10. So that's what I want. But it should be like more or less like Aussie, yeah, not too many clutches, and every clutch should be as high value as possible, and high quality animals, the desirable genetics and all these things. So even with like, let's say 20 clutches, the income should be pretty good. So yeah, the best would be, of course, if I could just go either full time or let's say like half time, yeah, so that I can only work on a normal job half time, so that I have more time for like the animal stuff, but also like for myself. Yeah, so that's kind of the goal. Yeah, I would like to at least reduce my full-time job, because that's also super demanding. And I barely have enough time to actually do all the things that are related with the animals.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel. I know exactly. Like I said to you this morning, I was like, yeah, we was meant to record earlier. I had to go to work, and then I had so much stuff to do with snakes that was then delayed because I had to go to work. So it was like cleaning tubs, getting stuff ready, and then I was like, I need to sleep because I'm absolutely knackered. So I had a little nap, and then we'll record.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to have one or two like employees as well. Yeah, as a some support. Yeah, if I have enough income from that, it's they don't have to be full time. Yeah, but just if they come maybe once or twice per week, just to support me. Yeah, that if I
clean some tubs that you don't want to clean.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really about I don't want to, because it's kind of
You
relaxing
have
as
to,
well.
yeah.
But just the time, yeah. The I need to buy time.
That's the most expensive thing you can buy is time.
Yes. So that would be pretty cool. Yeah. Let's say in 5 years I have two like employees who help with the tabs, and I can just be like half time employed. That would be pretty cool. And of course, I want to be like getting myself out there. Yeah. That people know me also in the States. I also was there on a podcast. Would be pretty cool. Then also with you going to Tinley maybe next year, and meet people there. So all these things that would be pretty cool.
That's one of my favorite parts of it is networking. It's
Mm,
like I just love meeting people. I'm quite a social person. I like getting out there and talking to people and just meeting different people from different cultures or different countries or
mhm,
just different experiences in general. So yeah, I mean that for me is one of the best parts is just to see how other people do it. And I've been fortunate enough that I've been to some fantastic places along the way, and I've seen how Aussie runs his and how Justin and Bob keep their collections, because they're working with a large quantity of animals and things, and it's really fascinating to see, and it's quite inspiring after a while. I definitely come back from there with a rejuvenated sort of mindset and ready to really crack on and push through and do
mhm.
something different.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not just meeting people; it's meeting weird, crazy snake people, right?
Well, look, where there's not many of us, everyone already looks at us as we're this sort of weird outcast
Mm,
societal sort of group anyway. So yeah, I think it's quite cool. You go and spend some time with people, go and hang out and see what they're doing, and you've all got that shared interest of talking about what projects you're working on or what you've hatched and showing pictures of what you've hatched from weird clutches and things. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's pretty cool.
mhm. Definitely, yeah. With
So
normal
what?
with
Go on.
normal with normal people, you actually cannot talk. I always, but when I meet with like normal people, I always think like, damn, what can I talk about?
Yeah. Is this guy interested about my red stripe yellow belly clown? Probably not.
Exactly. Like I cannot tell them, oh, what do you think about the Cosmos gene? They're like, what the fuck is that?
No, it is weird. Like sometimes I try and explain things. Like a few people at work and things ask about it, and it's like I don't know if I've got enough time to tell you about it all because you're going to lose interest pretty quickly, and
Yeah.
you're not going to understand half the things I'm talking about because when I was like even first coming into breeding or first keeping reptiles, I didn't understand half the things people were talking about, and I
Mm.
had the animals. So, so actually, from someone who's got actually like zero interest or this fear of reptiles in general, maybe that they don't care. They don't really care what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it can just if you start talking that you have snakes, then most people are already like, oh my god, no, stop talking about that. I, d- I don't want to hear anything about these dangerous creatures.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone always thinks that they're poisonous and they're going to kill you, or some of this crazy stuff. But it's so not true. So, what are the best things about the hobby for you? What are the things that you enjoy most?
It's actually, I think it's really like the mix of things. Um, that maybe on the first thing is like the genetic stuff, that you have all these genetics, and you can combine them and create like always, like every year, can create like different kind of art, yeah, with it. And if it hasn't been done before, you even don't know how it will look like. Um, and so look wise, it never gets boring, yeah, because every year you will have different hatchlings if you do it correctly, yeah.
Yeah,
um, so I think that's the most like interesting, fascinating thing for me. But because there are so many things in this hobby or industry, yeah, you can do, or you kind of have to do everything, yeah, like also social media and as you said, networking, um, taking good pictures of your animals. So photography also is kind of a part of it. Um,
you see some terrible photos posted.
yeah, then you know, okay, this guy didn't spend time on learning photography. Actually, most people do it like that. That they just I don't know. There's
I'm the same. Everything I take is pretty much taken on an iPhone. So
yeah, but even like with the phone, if you know what you're doing and stuff, then it's still good. Yeah, but
yeah.
when you see people throwing the animal on their floor, the carpet, some old brown carpet, and they without any lighting, they just take the picture. I'm like,
My favorite one's when they take the picture of the animal they're trying to sell on their bed. That's my favorite one. Like an
that's
unmade bed, and they've just got like this snake or a duvet or something. You're just like, oh, come on. Just at least make the bed.
yeah, at least that. Yeah, but it's like really the mix of all these things, and you have to you have to have some what's actually at least helpful to have some kind of investment knowledge, or like how at least know how this works. Yeah, that things are appreciating if you combine them correctly. All these things, making the right purchase at the right time. These kind of things. Also, a little bit of gambling is in there.
Yeah.
So like it has so many phases that like it makes it really interesting to me. Yeah. So I could do that really like only this for 10, 20 years, and I would be surprised if it would get any more boring or so for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it right, it should evolve and it should change year on year, and
Yeah.
or season to season. Even the start of the
Mhm.
year might be completely different to the end of the year for you.
Yeah.
So on the flip side of that, what are the worst things for you? What are the things that you enjoy the least?
Well, one thing that is complicated, especially here, that when your animals don't want to eat frozen, then somehow you have to get them live, and that's really difficult here. Yeah, because either people don't do it or they don't. If you ask in some groups, does someone have some live feeders for me? Like nobody will reply because they are scared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Um,
can imagine.
so that's something that is really annoying, yeah, because you cannot have like a reliable source of feeders, at least
Yeah,
not live feeders. Frozen thawed is no problem, yeah. So, but that's something that's really like super annoying. Um, and I mean, until you get to a certain point where people actually know you and trust you, it's also quite frustrating when you have animals and they don't want people don't want to buy them from you, even if you have like nice animals. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Reputation is everything, isn't it? There's
mm,
people only buy from people that they know or that they've either had dealings with before, or someone close to them's had dealings with them before, and it can be tricky. It can be really tricky if you're trying to establish yourself and get yourself out there and get things sold before people actually start to, especially when they're sort of expensive animals to an extent where people want to take that jump and that risk from buying from someone else.
mhm, yeah. So yeah, but apart from that, I think I almost like everything. Like even like cleaning the snake poop can be like relaxing.
I quite enjoy it, to be fair. I've done a few hours this afternoon, just in the snake room cleaning tubs and just changing bedding and spot cleaning and changing waters and things. So for me, it's quite an escape. Like I just get out there and I know that I've just got to do things and nothing else really matters at that point. It's just
Mhm,
okay, get this done. I've got 3 hours or whatever to get through as much as I can, and
mhm.
the grind never stops.
Yeah. No, but I feel the same. Yeah. My job is mainly on the PC, and so I'm sitting like most of the day, and then I'm happy when I can stand up and just go to the snake room and clean some tubs there, and see some nice animals also. So that's actually the nicest part of the day then.
Right, before I let you go, then it's your chance to plug yourself. Where can people find you on social media, etc.?
So social media, I have Instagram, I have Facebook, Morph Market, YouTube. Unfortunately, not yet, but I will not end this year before I have at least write one video. So stay patient for YouTube. But like,
Do us a sterile cleaning video, and you can show us how to do it properly.
yeah, that's something, for example. But I will show also some clutches and stuff. So it's actually not that difficult, but I just have to do it. So yeah, you can find me more or less everywhere with my name, Saltarin Serpentines. You should see it on screen, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, just drop me a message. I always like to talk about snakes. I don't care if you want to buy something. Of course, I will be even happier if you reach out to buy something from me. But it's not necessary. Just ask me something or whatever. I could talk about these animals the whole day. Yeah. So
there we go. So if you want to catch up with Andy, Saltarin Serpentines on Instagram, Facebook, Morph Market, and soon to be YouTube.
that's right.
There we go. Right, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room for just a few moments, and I will catch up with you once I've closed this off. But thanks very much for coming on. I know it's been a long time coming, and schedules have always got in the way, but I think it's been really good. I think it's been a good little chat, and I'll catch up with you in a moment.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thanks, man. So there we go, guys. That was Andy from Saltarin Serpentines. A really different and interesting take, and really good to get some insight and some knowledge from sort of a lab background on cleaning, disease, virus, etc. Before we close the show, I'm just going to run through the rest of the sponsors. So obviously, Eve's Temptations Creations and Eve's Temptations Raw Pythons. So if you're looking for any of your merchandise, your snake bags, your tops, your hoodies, your hats, whatever, your coasters, anything you're looking for, head over to Eve's Temptations Creations and check her out. She's got some of the best printed merch and things going. Like the snake bags are absolutely fantastic, washable, colours don't fade, etc. So if you are looking for anything like that, head on over and check her out. But of course, again, don't forget to check out Eve's Temptations Raw Pythons. Some of the best hatchlings around in terms of projects and things that she's working on. Double visuals, triple visuals, etc. coming soon. So definitely head on over and you'll see the website there, evestemptations.co.uk, where you can see all of the merch and all of the goods that you can buy as well. And sponsor from day one, here we have the guys over at Wild Racks. So any sort of custom enclosure that you're looking for, Wild Racks can hook you up with that. Again, they do all different sizes, different tub options, etc., different sort of colors in terms of the racking. And they also have the Patreon and the courier active as well. So if you are part of the Patreon, you can get access to the Wild Racks courier. I personally ship all of my animals with Wild Racks, and we ship a lot of our stuff out through SWR shipping with Wild Racks. So the boys, they're super reliable, really quick turnaround, really, really good service. And again, go and check out the Wild Racks website there. You'll see it at the bottom of the screen, wildracks.co.uk, and get some more info on that. And here we go with World of Exotics. And this is Dan over at World of Exotics in the Wirral. One of the last remaining high street pet shops going. So if you are looking for any frozen food, live food, stock lists, head on over, check them out. They've got everything you need, from thermostats, feeding tongs, everything that you would need to keep your reptile, heat bulbs, cables, lamps, lights, whatever you need. Head on over to worldofexotics.co.uk. There is also a 10% discount code available. I believe it is Wolfies10. So if you do want to take advantage of that discount, now is a fantastic time to do so. And last but not least, Andrea Lupadini design. Now, Andrea designed both of those logos that you can see behind me, and it is first class service, second to none. The designs are fantastic, the turnaround is fantastic, and Andrea will work with you sort of day in, day out to make sure you get what you need. So I would head on over and check them out if you want to do so. And if you are looking to revamp your logo, maybe rebrand, or just get an existing logo sort of touched up and redone, Andrea is the guy to go to. And there is also podcast bundles available with him. So if you want to get, banners made, feeding cards, hats in records, that sort of thing, then Andrea can also do that as well. And there is a discount on a podcast package for that. So I'm going to bring the screen back up. And that is about it for this episode. So I am going to probably end it here. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. And also, don't forget, if you are watching on YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, do what you need to do. As I said before, this is going to be the primary source of releases for now. So it's always going to hit YouTube before it hits Spotify, Amazon, Apple, etc. So please do go over, check it all out, and there'll be some more things in the future to come up. But that's it for now. Peace.